Hey everyone, and welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're unpacking a massive development in global public health that is set to completely reshape how one of the world's most populous nations fights a relentless disease. We're talking about Japan's Takeda Pharmaceutical and their breakthrough dengue vaccine, Qdenga, which just secured a landmark approval in India. We are going to explain this all in detail, so definitely follow along with the subtitles and the data on screen so we can understand exactly why this is such a monumental shift. Okay, let's dive right into this. Here is our roadmap for today. 1. India's massive dengue burden. 2. The Qdenga vaccine solution. 3. Efficacy and long-term safety. 4. Takeda's strategic shift. And 5. The market rollout plan.
Section 1. India's massive dengue burden. Massive scale of problem.
Before we can truly appreciate the medical solution here, we really have to grasp the staggering scale of the problem. Dengue is a mosquito-borne viral disease prevalent in over 125 countries worldwide. But get this, India alone accounts for nearly 1/3 of the entire global dengue burden. Think about that concentration for a second. Literally 1/3 of the world's fight against this disease is happening within the borders of just one nation. And it is a problem that is accelerating at an alarming rate. We are looking at an 11-fold spike in dengue cases within India over just the past decade. This isn't some static public health issue. It's a rapidly compounding crisis that desperately demands a proactive, large-scale intervention. To really ground us in the data, let's look at the specific figures from the Ministry of Health. In 2025, there were over 121,000 reported cases and 131 reported deaths. But notice that third bullet point. This is absolutely crucial. Modeling analyses suggest a massive gap between those official reports and reality, indicating that there are actually tens of millions of infections happening every single year. And complicating the whole shebang even further is the fact that all 4 distinct dengue virus serotypes, which are basically different variations or strains of the virus, are actively circulating in India.
Section 2. The Qdenga vaccine solution, a medical breakthrough.
So that brings us to a much-needed injection of optimism. Here is exactly what Takeda is bringing to the table. Qdenga is a preventative dengue vaccine, and it boasts a remarkably broad approved age range, from young kids at just 4 years old all the way up to adults aged 60. And while it's newly approved in India, it is definitely not an untested experiment. It already comes with an established global track record, having been authorized in more than 40 other countries. So how does this actually work in a clinical setting? For those of you who love the precise clinical details, here are the exact specifications. It's administered subcutaneously, meaning just a shallow little injection right under the skin in a tiny 0.5 milliliter volume. It requires a 2-dose regimen given 3 months apart. But the absolute biggest game changers are those final 2 points. No pre-vaccination testing is required, and it can be used regardless of whether you've had previous dengue exposure. In terms of a mass public rollout, skipping a prerequisite blood test removes a literal logistical mountain. Section 3. Efficacy and long-term safety. Clinical data breakdown. Of course, the natural question you're probably asking right now is, well, how well does it actually work? Let's look at the numbers. Based on 54 months data, after receiving the full 2-dose regimen, the vaccine shows an impressive 84.1% efficacy, specifically against dengue-related hospitalizations. It is highly effective at keeping people out of the hospital and preventing the worst outcomes of the virus. But it's not just about immediate protection. It's about durability. Qdenga has demonstrated sustained safety and efficacy for up to 7 years. And remember how we noted earlier that India has all 4 variations, or serotypes, of the virus? Well, this vaccine is explicitly designed to protect against all 4 of them. This sustained, broad-spectrum protection represents a massive milestone for public health. Section 4. Takeda's strategic shift, changing the trajectory. Now, let's pivot from the medical science to the corporate boardroom, because this brilliantly illustrates the corporate transformation at play here. Since 2019, Takeda's focus in India has been highly specialized, right? They were dealing in oncology, rare diseases, and plasma-derived therapies. Now, compare that to their new focus, public health, infectious diseases, and mass immunization. They are moving from highly targeted, niche medical interventions to tackling one of the biggest infectious disease markets on the entire planet. To truly understand how the company views this, listen to Mahendra Nayak, the president of the Intercontinental Region for Takeda Pharma. He states, Qdenga brings us into the forefront of public health and elevates the responsibility that we have as a company in India. It really humanizes the shift, proving this isn't just another product launch for them. It's a full embrace of a massive societal responsibility.
Section 5, the market rollout plan, from factory to citizens. So how does this actually get into the arms of the people who need it? Here is the chronological roadmap Takeda is executing right now. Step 1, they're currently completing the necessary import-related regulatory processes. Step 2, the commercial launch will kick off in the private market, which is expected in the first half of 2027. Step 3 involves forming active partnerships with state governments. And finally, Step 4 is the ultimate goal, eventual inclusion in the National Immunization Program, or NIP. While formal NIP discussions haven't started just yet, this private-to-public trajectory is absolutely the standard playbook for adopting new vaccines in India.
Naturally, a rollout of this scale brings up the big question of cost. I know you're wondering about it. While Takeda hasn't disclosed the exact pricing yet, they have explicitly committed to making affordability central to their commercial strategy as they head into these upcoming government discussions. Ensuring the vaccine is economically accessible is a core pillar of their playbook here.
And that leaves us with this final provocative thought. We know the vaccine works, we know the approval is secured, and we know the corporate strategy. The true test now is time. How quickly can Qdenga successfully navigate from the private market into India's national immunization program to finally begin curbing those tens of millions of estimated annual infections? It is a public health race absolutely worth watching very closely. Thank you so much for learning with me today on The Explainer, and I hope this deep dive empowered you with a much better understanding of this incredible medical milestone.